was no.
Hello, thank you for joining us. My name is Elmer Moore, and I'm the project team lead for Scale Up Milwaukee. We'll have a great conversation with some growth experts and a young venture doing everything it can to imbue growth. Gentlemen, any last words before we close out this discussion?
I'll just say run wonderful events. The deal we had at the University Club on Monday was wonderful. Very nicely done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Health devices space, medical devices, my entire career, and had the great fortune of being with two companies that we were able to grow dramatically and take public. The first was Marquette Electronics. We grew to about $750 million, took it public in 1994, and sold to General Electric in 1998. I then joined another startup in Southern California, Massimo Pulse Oximetry, about a $70 million company when I
By the mid-90s, got involved in a bunch of medical device startups and other startups, and then we started this in 2009. You'll learn more about that.
Great. And Al?
My name is Alan Hawes. I'm partner in Brain Accelerator, and I have been in marketing and for the past 30 years or so, involved in a lot of different aspects of marketing and creative services.
Excellent. Let's get straight to it. The question that everyone wants to know first is, what is Brain Accelerator?
Back in 2010, actually, we had an opportunity to do an online system for the Packers Hall of Fame, and branding rules wouldn't allow us. So we started and actually built an online system that allowed us to have video on a private server. And that was back in 2011. In today's language, we had a minimally viable product back then, and since then we've been bootstrapping the system, pretty much waiting for the technology and bandwidth and cell phone technology to catch up with where we were headed, and I think it's finally gotten there. So people from a single page to submit video, but also audio and image and text, and then send it out to wherever they want, to their website or to social media accounts, email, can go out to a private application through a programming interface. So in terms of where it goes, but the starting point is a very simple user interface where you can either record video using your a webcam like we're doing here, or you can upload a video that record it separately and then decide where you want to send it. You hit one button and off it goes to all those different locations.
Specific backgrounds. Dave, especially, I'm curious, history of running sales departments, of growing companies, even taking them public. Why Brain Accelerator? Why Milwaukee? Why this? Why now?
The training, and the second was relative to introducing a new and very 70 people, precisely how to present a very technically adroit product. So I recorded with the team, and to my great frustration, there was no way for us to easily get it to the sales team to review on an as-needed basis without making it available to potentially competitors. So I was horribly frustrated by not being able to make this video available in a proprietary. Occurred where we had a new product. It was kind of under wraps. It was very new, and we're showing it to some new physicians in the hospital. And one of them said, "Golly, I've got some of the other doctors are down the hall, and they won't be able to join this in-service. Would you mind if I just videotape this briefly so I can show my colleagues?" We thought nothing of it. We said, "Sure." About a week later, this video of proprietary equipment being displayed in a hospital was found on YouTube. And we were very potentially aware of our new product. Now, there's a third element to this. I went to Capson last June to take a class in entrepreneurship, what they call their boot camp for entrepreneurs. And as part of that, of course, there's an element of pitching. And they wanted the incoming class, to record a video of themselves doing a brief pitch, which would be critiqued and improved upon in class. And the application that they used was called Kaltura. Now, I'd never heard of Kaltura at that time. I know now they're a video company, and I was aghast, though, at how difficult it was to use. It took me at least an hour to read all of the varied instructions and so on. It took me prize till I could finally get a 1-minute video that I was pleased with and I could submit. So I added up those data points, come back to Milwaukee, which is home, and now I'm here looking for my next adventure, and I sit down and have lunch with Al Oslager and said, my goodness, I think you've got something there.
Al, or Alan, and Dave, you all sell medical equipment. How are you going to grow Brain Accelerator?
I'll say that lady out of what we're doing, and actually said it's fabulous was her term, but she actually grew up in the Midwest and is very passionate about the Midwest. Grew up in Ohio. Her husband is from Milwaukee, actually from Oshkosh. Went to school in and she's saying, Silicon Valley shouldn't be the only place we can build a high-tech company that's we can do it here. We don't have a big history of it, but I think we certainly have the talent, and with Elmer, with what you're doing with Scalar Raider, I think we can do something big happen.
I'm interested, you just mentioned all that, Al. I want to know, what are the specific assets that Milwaukee and this region have that make this location the best possible place to grow your business?
Dave, do you want to have the same history of these two guys have? So, Al and Dave?
Well, Al.
Throughout this area over the past 10 years, there's been a lot of growth in a lot of upstart interest and a lot of organizations trying to grow this entrepreneurship attitude in the Midwest and in the Milwaukee area. So we're excited about it, and we've got a lot of networking that we can tap into to help us out if we run problems. And Scalar Raider is one of them.
Excellent. So, no, the Scalar Raider is Scale Up Milwaukee's premier program. It's a 6-month training program for high-growth entrepreneurs to lead their ventures into just as Alan growth. Alan happens to be an alumni with another venture he's been a part of. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I think that this region has specific assets, and it has a culture and a work ethic that lend themselves greatly to generating the kind of explosions you're doing now to really take
the economic development in this area back in the early 2000s. We talked a little bit about that, and back then the same basic folks were here, right? Hardworking, good people that wanted to do good things and honest and ethical, and it's this lady I talked to today. She went on and on about what different than what I see here out in the Silicon Valley. What's changed, I think, in the last 15 years is the entrepreneurial culture. Back in the early 2000s, we were trying hard. I actually was on the board of the very first entrepreneur conference, but the environment is night and day different. So, several venture capitalists, some technology people, a guy that's a go-to-marketing. Without the network that's gotten created, we would have never found those people 10 years ago. But today, I think it's a much more open environment. People are willing to sit and have coffee. We met this guy, Ross Harmson, just a brilliant guy, and started out with my lawyer, referred us to him, had coffee at a Starbucks, and now we've had 3 meetings with him, and it's been great.
Dave, anything to add to that?
I would add, Elmer, that when Ritz-Carlton looks at their top hotels every year, entities of the hotel, it's about the people. So unquestionably, Milwaukee and the greater Midwest in general has got a plethora of kind of people with the right kind of optimism. Al mentioned networking. I think we're starting to see an improvement in the ecosystem, a lot more people talking to each other. This is a well-kept secret, and we're learning what we really have here is great people and great networking, a great set of them as well.
I really hearing that, and I would promote the idea that we want to keep that well-kept secret from being a well-kept secret and really promote all the benefits that this region has before we close out this discussion.
I'll just say full events. I
represent the Greater Milwaukee Committee. All that the Scalar Raider companies have to offer, really introduce them and demonstrate to them the growth that's actually taking place.
And all us entrepreneurs got to.
So thank you all for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, for participating. Look forward to the next opportunity to connect with you online or in person.
Thanks a lot.